Hi, this is Craig Rollins, and welcome to It's Sexy Women Cook After Quarantine. Everybody's been in quarantine for a while now, and COVID-19's been kicking everybody's butt. And today our state went to yellow, which means that Z, my nephew Z, and I don't have to wear masks anymore to communicate with each other. We've all been quarantining. Alex, our film guy, everybody's been quarantining. We're all safe. We're glad to be on this end of that. We hope we don't have to fall back into quarantine. You've seen some great food come out of the quarantine. We've done a lot of pantry diving. But today is really special because my nephew Z is going to show us his version of barbecued baby back spare ribs. Tell us what you're going to make for us, Z.
So I'm going to make some sweet barbecue ribs, okay, with some potato wedges, and it's going to taste really good. It's going to taste really good.
So when you do your ribs, do you put the rub on in advance? Are you dry rubbing? Are you wet rubbing? What are you doing with your ribs to get them ready?
So I take some aluminum foil and I'll put it here so that when this is cooking, it'll catch all the juices, and I can add it to my barbecue sauce later. And I'm just gonna put the rub on before I put it in the oven, and then it's going to taste really good.
I bet it is. You know, and Xander's actually, or Z, excuse me, is actually doing something that I think you need to take heed on. He's wrapping his ribs first, popping them in the oven for a few hours to kind of seal in those juices. And now, do you throw them on the barbecue or afterwards to give it a sear?
Yes, I do put it on the grill to give it a little bit of a crispy outside.
Oh, give it a little crunch afterwards.
Yep.
Okay, well, great. Well, where do you want to start, Z?
First, I'm going to, I've let these ribs out for a while to let them get to room temperature. It's going to take about that much off. Okay. And then over the sink so that we don't, like, pour it everywhere.
Okay. So what he's doing is he's cutting a small hole in the packaging, because at room temperature it will start to bleed a little bit and the little juices. So if it's frozen, it's a good idea to drain this over a kitchen sink. So all he's doing is draining out that blood, some of the excess fluid inside the packaging, which will actually make it adhere a little bit more to the spices and the rubs. Okay, what next?
We're going to start making our rub.
Okay.
So I'm just going to add 1/4 cup of brown sugar.
Okay.
2 tablespoons of regular sugar.
Okay.
Some garlic powder.
Oh, I love garlic powder.
Yeah. And then some salt for just a little bit extra.
All right.
And then a little bit of something else. And so we're going to keep that little bit of a secret.
Chip off the old block. There's always that secret ingredient. So you got to be able to hide some stuff.
Yeah. So next we're just going to mix it all together.
Okay. Really
fast. Leave that. So next what I'm going to do, I'm just going to plop this on there upside down so then I can get the bottom part of the ribs rubbed first.
Okay.
We're just going to put that back. Wash them off a little bit. Alright, so now we're just going to take our rub and we're going to use all of this rub. So
okay.
I've just got it right here like that.
Okay.
And we take it, we'll just sprinkle it over here.
So the brown sugar and the white sugar, as you know, is going to create some nice caramelization on the rib itself. So that's going to just give it a little bit sweeter flavor, a little crunch on it when you hit the grill with it.
So now we're just going to flip it over, and we're going to take the rest of the rub and just cover it.
Now, one of the nice things is if you're not dealing with a really large oven or a large grill when you're dealing with these, one of the things we've always done is we'll just cut it in half. It's not a big deal, just to get it to fit in your oven or your grill, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously you want to keep the rack of ribs together as much as you can, but there's nothing wrong with cutting a rack in half and letting the two halves cook independently. And in fact, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll sometimes we'll cut big long racks in half and we'll do 2 different treatments. But we're going whole rack today. Z's going a whole rack.
Yeah.
And he's got this covered real nice now too.
Yeah, it's gonna
You can smell it. You can smell the spices.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very good.
Yeah, it looks good, Chef.
Thank you. So we're done with this.
More is better. More is always better.
Okay, so now that it's all rubbed and stuff, we're just going to take it, kind of fold up the sides a little bit, so then the juices will stay in there.
Right, so you're kind of creating an aluminum foil pan.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So we've got it like that, and so it doesn't have to be covered, but you can cover it if you would like to. It doesn't really change anything. I'm just doing this so that the juices will stay inside, and we'll add the juices to the barbecue sauce later. So now that we have it all covered and wrapped, we're going to put it in the oven. It's at 300 degrees, and we're going to put it in there for 2 hours.
All right. Bottom rack, top rack? Bottom rack?
It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
So next, what I'm going to do with his help, I'm going to cut these into wedges, and we're just going to make potato wedges and cover them in a little bit of basil, some olive oil, and some Parmesan and salt.
Some
parsley.
Parsley.
Not basil.
Okay.
Parsley.
Parsley. All right.
And we're just gonna stick it into the toaster oven.
Oven potato wedges.
At 400 degrees for like 30 minutes.
All right, so how are you gonna cut these up here?
So I just cut them in half, and then cut them into about 1/2 inch thick slices, and then just turn them into wedges.
I'm gonna show you something. So here's a neat trick. That's a bad potato. So one of the things you want to do, I'm going to show you something about cutting. So when you're cutting like a potato, I'll show you in the last one there, but you always want to know where your knife is at all times. So here, let me show you something. When you're cutting this, it's called a claw.
Okay.
Put your hand like this, okay? And you can put the knife right up along your knuckles. See that? So you can go, and that's if you're going to cut thin, you can cut thinner or wider, whatever you want. But your knuckles control it.
Okay.
See what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And you'll be able to cut faster that way too as you master your knife skills. I'll show you how thin you can get this if you do it right. Put your knuckles right up on here.
That is very nice.
And you could actually, if you wanted to, you could practice, you could learn how to make hand-cut potato chips.
That sounds really good. Okay, so now that they are in the bowl, we're just gonna take some olive oil.
Pretty liberal with the olive oil. I mean, you definitely want to cover all the potatoes, so he's doing a great job on that.
Just shake it around, and then add some parsley.
I'd use the other end.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna use the other end.
Ah, there you go. So when you're flipping, we want to get that like that. It's that motion
So it
right
throws
there.
it up.
See that? But you want to get that rocking motion, but you want to kind of flip it up like this. So
Oh,
it's gonna
frick.
Oh, that's good.
That's
See,
enough.
Yeah, look. See, that's going to work out great.
All right, so we've got all of the stuff, and we're just gonna add some cheese, some Parmesan cheese.
Is that just normal Parmesan?
Yeah.
Grated Parmesan.
Yeah.
Now you can also use like the tri-blends, like the Romano Asiago and Reggiano cheeses. Those are like those tri-blends, but this, yeah, anything like that will work great with this dish.
Yeah, so we got it covered in cheese now, and then we're gonna take some salt.
Okay.
It doesn't need too much salt, just a little bit. We're gonna take it and we're gonna pour all of the wedges into the tray.
Oh, we made a lot, didn't we?
Yeah.
There we go.
Alright. So now that we have our potato wedges, we're just gonna put it into the toaster oven at 400 degrees for 30 minutes.
So now you've seen the preparation of the ribs. Chef Z has done a great job. We've got the potatoes in. Everything's been cooking lovely. Let's see how our ribs have turned out.
And they look beautiful.
Wow, look at this. I'm going to cheat just a little bit here because I'm really curious about this bark. Oh. That's really good.
Yeah.
You're on the bone. Can I show you a trick?
Yeah.
Okay. This is kind of cool. Since you're cutting them anyway.
Oh, that's so caramely.
That's good. That's what you want. So now that you've got this, you can see the bones.
All right. So I'm just gonna take the ribs and just cut. So
just press down.
We've got it right here.
Yeah.
And there it is, straight through.
Beautiful, beautiful,
right,
perfect.
Tender.
Perfect.
Just go a little bit.
There you go. All right, Chef, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, so we've got all the ribs cut and we're just gonna take it out to the grill. So, let's go.
Chef, tell me what you're doing here with the ribs.
So I'm just putting them on the grill right now.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let them warm up, and we'll just lightly coat them with some barbecue sauce.
Okay. You gotta paint them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just gonna use a little brush and cover them with some barbecue sauce. We don't want to char them, so we gotta be careful not to leave them on here too long. So we're just covering them right now. One to two sides at a time.
Okay.
And then we'll flip them over soon.
So this is kind of neat. What he's doing here is he's already cooked the ribs basically. What he's doing is sticking some char on the outside and giving it a little bit of a crust with that barbecue glaze. All right, well, let us look at these. See how these look, see? We have grilled, we have endured the dogs barking, we have endured the power lawn tools going during this classic summer barbecue noises. We now have our potatoes done. Mm-hmm. We've got our ribs done. Mm-hmm. And I love how you've dressed this with some nice fresh mango.
Yeah.
What do you want to say about this plate, Chef?
Well, it did take over 2 hours, but it was worth it, and it's going to taste very good.
Well, you know what? Never apologize for good cooking taking a long time, because that's the trick. Well, guys, we hope you've enjoyed it today. This is Craig and Z on It's Sexy When Men Cook, and we've loved having you today. And get out there with your dad soon and have a barbecue if you can in your state, or if you can't, do it on your back porch with your family, whatever you need to. Enjoy the summer, enjoy the food, and Z has done a masterful job. I feel very confident in the future of cooking in our family. Everybody have a good summer. Take care.